Hi everyone, very good evening. This is Krishna Priya from Foundation for Excellence, and a very warm welcome to today's webinar on quality principles. We are truly excited to have you all here for what promises to be a valuable and insightful session. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our esteemed speaker for the day, Mr. Saurabh Bhalla, a seasoned professional with over 18 years of industry experience. Mr. Balla is currently a project expert at SAP Labs India Pvt Limited, where he plays a vital role in the strategic partnerships team within the partner qualification unit of Innovation Lifecycle Services. Over the past 7 years, he has been leading and managing strategic solution extension releases, ensuring seamless execution and high quality delivery. Throughout his career, he has taken on various roles that reflect his depth of expertise and commitment to excellence. Beyond project management, Mr. Saurabh Bhalla is also a passionate trainer, regularly conducting sessions and workshops in project management and quality related topics for both partners and the customers. His approach blends practical industry knowledge with structured methodologies, making complex ideas easy to understand and apply. Today, we are truly honored to have him with us to share his insights on quality principles, a cornerstone of any successful project or product. So, without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Saurabh Bhalla. Over to you, Saurabh, sir.
Thank you so much, Krishna Priya. That indeed was a very good welcome, and
My
and
pleasure.
I really feel humbled listening to this. Thank you so much for your kind words. Krishna Priya has already introduced me in details. So I've been working in software industry with SAP Labs for more than 18 years now. It's been a pleasure working with SAP. A couple of years back, I was a student just like you guys are, okay, and wondering how would I enter this industry and what to do. And yeah, there were too many unknowns, and I'm sure everybody goes through this in their lifespan, as student and otherwise as well. So today, I've been given this task of talking to you guys about quality principles. So, what to you guys is quality? Okay. Perhaps if you guys have the unmute option, I know we are too many in number, but perhaps a couple of you, if you want to attempt anything. What to you is quality? Would anybody want to attempt?
Yeah, so Mr. Saurabh, like we have shared them the access for the chat box. Definitely,
Okay.
scholars, you can post your
Let's
answers
see.
in the chat box.
So they do not have audio possibility. Okay. Uh, I don't see any answers as such. Okay, perfection, good. Up to the required measurements and standards. Aman, that was a good one. Like showing their skills. Quality as producing high quality great software. I like this one. Ria, we will come back to this. Requirements. Okay. Now answers are coming too fast. Quality means degree of excellence or standard. Okay. It refers to how good or bad. Nisha, this is good if it is your own statement. Please do not Google. Cool. So this gives me a feeling that all of you are on the surface are aware of quality. So all of you must be using mobile phones already, I'm sure. Okay. So let's say a mobile phone, a very basic one, which is used primarily or only for audio purposes, only for calling purposes. Okay. You buy this phone and okay, don't type in any more answers now. We'll proceed ahead. So this mobile phone that you bought, okay, doesn't have good audio. Okay. If you are trying to use it for your calls, there's always something or the other that goes bad. Either the audio quality is bad or it doesn't catch signal or something happens, but the audio isn't working. And it's a very basic phone. Do you think that it will be a good deal? Would you feel good about it? No, right? You bought a mobile phone, though a very basic one, hardly $1,000, not a very expensive affair. But the reason why you bought it for, that was only, to connect with your people through audio calls. It isn't doing that purpose. Would you guys be happy? No, right? And now let's say you guys spent a little more money in case number two or scenario number two, and you bought a mobile phone, a smartphone now, worth rupees 20,000. Now you bought smartphone for its features that it offers. Okay, the features, namely, I don't need to tell you guys. This generation, anyways, knows about devices more than anybody else. So you bought this phone, the smartphone, for checking emails, playing games on it, and then doing video calls and whatnot. Okay, or running some softwares, etc., etc. And you bought it for its flawless touchscreen features, and not only that, not only audio basically. And this phone, which you bought of 20K, is able to do your calling very good, but all the other features are messed up. It's very slow. The touch response is bad. Okay, etc., etc. How would you feel? Okay, so this is example of somebody paying money for something, a few features, but not getting in turn or in return whatever they paid for or whatever they desired as a consumer, as a customer. This very thing, friends, is quality. Okay, so quality, going to next one, is fulfilling customers' requirements, fitness for use. In the first example, where you shelled out, or in the first case, you shelled out just 1,000 rupees, okay, for a very basic phone to be able to, just do a audio call and send perhaps a few SMSs around. Uh, Anybody would say, okay, it's just 1,000 rupees. What a big deal. But 1,000 rupees is 1,000 rupees. Even a single rupee is some money spent. So, but it isn't doing its intended purpose. The other one, which is 20K, is meant for a few features that it isn't able to fulfill. It isn't good quality, complying to certain standards, which we'll come back to. Okay. Moving this one down. Yeah. And fulfilling basic requirements. So we spoke about basic requirements in both the cases. Till what extent is what we do as part of our planning or definition? Forget about planning or definition for now. Keywords, quality criteria, testing, quality standards, etc., etc. These are typical software jargons. We will discuss about it, I promise, a few slides later. So I'm sure by now you would have understood what I'm going to talk about next by giving you these examples of 1,000 rupees product versus 20K product. If you don't get what you desire as a customer or what you pay for as a customer, that means there is some issue with the quality. Other examples from your daily life could be your candy, that you buy. Typically, a candy that you buy at a store or at a small shop for a single rupee. Nobody bothers, it's just 1 rupee. But what if you open the pack, okay, and it's soggy, it's half molten, perhaps because of the moisture, or it's broken because of issues in packaging or transporting it. Would you feel good? No, right? You'll definitely have second thought. Did I eat good thing? I mean, is it infected or whatever? Why is it moist or why is it broken already? It is just 1 rupee. But think of it, if eaten or if opened like that, it could lead to so many questions in the consumer's mind. And if you compare this fast forward with another chocolate or another, imported candy or whatever, which is worth rupees 10, that does the same thing. Okay. Then though you paid rupees 10 here, but that rupees 10 thing is not tasting as good as it normally does, you still will have questions. It's all about quality. Okay. A few of you had written grade, which we will come to further. So there are three things that we need to come to, which I definitely will cover by the time we reach the end of it. Typically, I like interactive sessions. I have your box open here. So if the moderator allows and when I want you guys to start putting your text here, we will look into it. Kindly post your questions in the Q&A box. Okay, dear scholars. Okay. All right. So going one step back, I don't want you guys to read this so far. I'm sure you would have read. What is a grade then? I think somebody called, forgotten the name, had put grade here as well. Ruchi, I guess, right? So, guys, what is a grade then, as per you? Quality, we understood. Complying to customers' requirement. What do you understand by grade? Standards, marks, right? Rinky, marks. Grade is design, Okay, Shruti, we are trying to go one step ahead. Nisha Sahu, level or rank? Good one. What else? Uh, Try and explain perhaps in a sentence or two. So Ria Day had written quality grade software. I would want to know this. Repo, rating, measure to judge quality. Purusharth Rana, measuring to judge quality is not grade. We will come to this ability. Mhm. Level of ranking. Perhaps okay, we'll stop now. Position. Good. We'll stop here with these answers now. So those guys who are putting anything uh, but not quality are correct here. Quality and grade are two different things. Why did we take example of 10 rupees candy and 1 rupee candy, or a mobile phone which was 1,000 bucks versus a 20K mobile phone. You know, the reason why we did that was that I wanted you guys to understand that there could be standards, or there could be segments within each category that we're dealing with. So you would have heard this advertisement on television, which is called Bangar Cement, right? So just giving an example, okay? This doesn't mean anything. I am not promoting or I'm not talking about any cement brand here. So you want to build a house or want to build a wall or something and you want cement. You go to the shop or you go to the person who sells cement and you ask, do you have cement? He says yes. Then you ask, what is the rate? What is the price? He says, what what quality? It depends upon what do you want, basically. It doesn't even talk about quality. Then you say, okay, what do you mean with that? He says there are different type of cement. The cost or the price depends upon what you want here or what do you want to construct. Then perhaps none of us are experts in building. We say, okay, I want to just plaster my wall. Then he says, for plastering, only this cement, which is less expensive, could be good. But if you want a cement to be put between the bricks, or if you want a cement to make concrete, then you have to go for a little more expensive cement. And if you want to do anything else, like if you want to make a floor, or if you want to make some sort of a design with cement, then you have to go with a third type of cement. The price is somewhere in between both. Okay. So now you have to decide. With these three types that he mentioned you for the cement, what do you think he's trying to say? The price is different. He just gave you three segments of cement. Cement is one thing that you want, but he has given you three options, and across three options, prices are different and the uses are different. So, what he's trying to say is there are different grades. Grade means the type of product or the use that you are going to make of a certain product or a certain ingredient. Other example is degi mirch and the other lal mirch, red chilies. One type of mirch or chili is used which is less spicy but has more color. The other the other chili, the red chili, is more spicier. It doesn't have much color. One is more expensive, the other one is not. Both are red chilies. Here prices are different because usage is different. Similarly, here cement, three different grades because and three different price point because the uses are different. This is called grade. Grade is design intent. As a design intent is a category assigned to deliverables having same functional use but different technical characteristic. So whatever in this story your cement vendor was telling you was basically a technical characteristic of the same deliverable or the same object. We'll read this again. As a design intent. So as a design intent, which basically means he gave you three options what do you want to use cement for. He gave you three categories assigned to a deliverable. Your ingredient for a deliverable is cement here, having same functional use. Functional use is cement is basically a binder, but different technical characteristics, slightly different build a wall. You want to build, you want to plaster, want to perhaps use it for. Are we good so far? Krishna Priya, perhaps is everything good?
Yes, yes, it's good.
Perfect. So I typically keep asking for feedback in between, feedback as in yes, no, or what
Sure, shall be fair,
is the
sir.
quality of the line goes bad or right? Please. So far, with the first two slides, we understood quality and grade are not the same. Do we all agree? Okay, quality assurance is a question perhaps. Sachin, we will come to it. Shruti agrees to me. I hope everybody else does. So project manager and the project management team are responsible for managing trade-offs associated with delivering required levels of both quality and grade. So students, here we are talking about project management team. Okay. Towards the end, quality is optional, and is it responsibility of only project manager or perhaps somebody else while we are working? While a quality level that fails to meet quality requirements is always a problem, low grade product may not be. Okay. So why I am taking you through this line, which is my personal favorite, while a quality level that fails to meet quality requirements is always a problem, low grade product may not be a problem. So when I talked about grade here, and I said less expensive cement, or making that choice, okay, you know the purpose. Okay, we have two hands raised. Is there a question, please? If there is a address right now, kindly put this in the chat. Otherwise, we may take it together at the end.
Yeah, so probably we can do is that we have a dedicated Q&A session at the end of the session. We can take up the questions at that time. In case if you want to take it in between, that's also fine. It works for us.
Absolutely. So let's do this. If there is any comment or if there is anything that anybody feels, can put this in the chat here without raising hand. Okay. We'll
Oh,
have a dedicated Q&A anyways towards the end.
yes. So scholars, you can post your questions in the Q&A box. We will
If there is anything which
read.
is immediate, okay. Otherwise, we'll take it towards the end. Else, we run into the risk of going beyond time. Sir, can you elaborate with an example like I have mentioned in my resume that SQL is my skill equivalent to work quality now. If it goes for shortlist, then they will see my project or okay, that's a very specific question. I'm afraid, Nayan, anything with regards to your resume, we'll have to take it up in a separate, dedicated session. Students, if you have any questions, okay, is there attendance? Okay, I want to know the future scope. Perhaps, I'm sure. So coming back to this, so while a low quality is not acceptable, taking an example of you paid 1,000 rupees for a mobile phone, which you anyways expected should be used only for calling purposes. It's a low grade mobile phone. Okay, so that's your personal choice. You bought a high grade mobile phone by paying 20K. You expected it to work for email, touchscreen, all the new features. Both the mobile phones, if they do not meet their quality standards for what you paid, that is not acceptable. Okay. While making a conscious choice to buy a low grade product is absolutely consumer's personal choice. All right. This is what I wish to say here. It may not be a problem if a suitable low grade product, one with limited number of features, in this particular case, 1,000 rupees mobile phone, is of a high quality with no obvious defects. High quality as in you paid 1,000 rupees, it works perfectly well, like a charm. The calls are absolutely good. In this example, the product would be appropriate for its general purpose of use. It may be a problem if a high grade product, now let's say 20K, with numerous features is of low quality. For the sake of saying, somebody mentioned the manufacturer says, okay, X, Y, Z, 100 features for 20,000, but none of them work fine. This is the problem. Okay. So I hope we are good here with quality and grade that we were trying to mix up in our initial discussion. Going to cost of quality. Now, students, what do you think is cost of quality? As in 1,000 rupees is that cost of quality, or 10,000 rupees is that cost of quality? What comes to your mind when I say cost of quality? Any thoughts in the chat? Okay, there are no thoughts, I believe. Okay, I want 10,000. How many resources are engaging to maintain the quality? Good try, Ria. 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. I don't know. Okay, 20. If somebody's saying 10,000, that's the midway. I would like to understand the calculation. According to me, it may be okay. According to me, it may be of any cost like 10, okay, 10 lakh, thousand. Cost of production depends upon the quality. It indeed does. So let's understand. Okay, now stop. Skill selling price depends upon manufacturing. It indeed does. So cost of quality basically means while we are producing anything, any product, it could be a 1 rupee candy as well, or a 10 rupee chocolate, or a 1,000 rupees mobile phone. Cost of quality means whatever we are investing as a manufacturer to produce that high quality product, which means my investment as a manufacturer that goes for cost of conformance means my defect prevention, you know, assessing the quality, any initiative that I take. Okay, stop the chat now. I'm not looking at it. Okay. So, any initiative as a manufacturer that I'm making towards producing this high quality product is my investment. Number one, plus cost of non conformance, which means as a manufacturer, if I make a bad quality product, okay, then two things will happen. Either my reputation in the market will go down, people will stop buying my product, okay, claiming that it's there is no point buying this, no matter what, it's a bad product. Or I may have to shell a lot of money in meeting the warranty. Now warranty means every time I manufacture something, I give a year warranty or a 2 year warranty or whatever. So the cost that goes into the fulfilling that warranty to my consumers is basically my cost of non-conformance as well. So to fix those bugs, to meet my or make my consumer happy, whatever I'm shelling out to fix those issues with the product in short term or long term is my cost of non-conformance. So basically, this formula that you see here is a very simple one. Cost of quality is the cost of conformance plus cost of non-conformance. I guess this is very straightforward. So now you know, students, when we buy something which may sound very simple, manufacturer basically goes through a lot trying to give us or serve us quality, and that holds true for software industry as well. Can you repeat, sir, if possible? For sure. So cost of quality basically means any cost that I'm incurring or I'm investing to ensure that I'm producing a high quality product, which means my investment that goes into my testing, retesting, fixing those bugs, etc., plus the cost of non-conformance, which means that any bugs which may have leaked into the final product and I'm fixing them after they are, released to the customer. It could be any product, not only software product. I gave a correlation of, warranty. Let's say you bought a refrigerator or whatever, and after purchasing that, there are issues with that. It's within the warranty, 1 year warranty. You call those guys up, they come to your house, fix it for free. This cost that goes into it is also cost of quality. It may be with one of the devices. It could be with the entire lot. Hence, put together cost of conformance plus cost of non-conformity is the overall cost of quality. Clear, Shruti? All right. Great. Moving ahead. Precision, accuracy, great. Precision, accuracy, and benchmarking. So for you guys, what is precision? Any ideas? Accuracy? Cool. Mini Thomas says clear. So, in a production line, colleagues, okay, error minimum accuracy. Accuracy was the question. Closeness to true value. Okay, if that is not Google Antima, it's a good try. How close values? Very nice. Cool. So, I go to office. Okay, every day I'm telling a story. Okay, precisely between 10 and 10:30 a.m. Okay, between 10 and 10:30 a.m. every day. Precisely, which means there are no days when I reach office either before 10 or after 10:30. My reaching time at office could be between, okay, stop typing and pay attention, please, now. Okay, how close a series of measurements are to each other. Very good for him. So, which means within a certain limit, I am adhering to, I am basically being within certain upper control level limits and lower control level limits. I took this example for you guys to understand. So there are no days when I reach before 10 or after 10:30. Agreed? This is called precision. My precision is so good that I'm between these two limits. Accuracy means if I'm reaching office exactly at 10 a.m., which means exactly 10:00 a.m. Understood? There is no 1 second above, there is no 1 second below. Means swiping in is exactly at 10. That is accuracy. If you guys have played dart game, I'm sure everybody has played. So dart game has a bullseye in the middle that is red dot. There are circles around it, and each circle has points, whatever 100,000, then concentric circles, right? So precision means if a player is hitting the innermost circle, not the red dot, but innermost circle. Out of his 10 trials, precisely 9 were within the innermost circle. That is precision. 9 out of those 10 were hitting exactly the innermost circle. Accuracy is 10 out of 10 hit the bullseye. Got the point? Benchmarking, on the other hand, means comparison. I benchmark myself that in my first semester, I got 80%. In the olden days, it was calculated as percentage. So 80%, okay? And that is my benchmark. I have now promised to everybody, which by the way is not a very good example. It's human to get bad marks or not so good marks. There's nothing good or bad, students, here. This is just an example, okay? So I promise to everybody that I will get 80%. This is my benchmark forever now, which is a tough target. Okay. So these are all quality measurement criterias. Okay. Upper control limit, lower control limits, I've already told you. So how is it important? In any production line, if we have set up quality criteria, let's say out of 100 mugs produced on a production line, not more than 10 will be defective. So what is allowed is 10 bugs could be defective. If at all 11th mug comes out as defective, then I will either pause my production line and go back and check what is wrong, or I will check if what's happening basically. Okay. This means that I have, put a lower control limit or a benchmarking. High upper control limit or higher control limit would mean in such scenario, all the cars you would have seen have C and H as temperature. And then there's something with there's a boat right in the middle. Okay. So if the needle or the pointer goes above half the mark towards H, okay, then that means there is something wrong. Similarly, in production line or in software as well, if we see that something is going beyond control limit or has reached half the way mark, we need to stop, pause, look, and then restart. Okay. Project quality management. Why project here at all? Colleagues, sooner, okay, benchmarking, I think I explained. Can you explain with more example? Benchmarking, there cannot be any better example. I am using my own measurements as a benchmark for all the production activities or whatever I do next. Okay, it's typically the scoring mechanism also in exams, like 80 out of 100. So 100 is your benchmark, okay, or your percentile calculation formula. That's benchmarking. Comparing something with a set standard is benchmarking. Okay, so project quality management. So anything that we do, any temporary endeavor, students, is a project. It has a definitive output, a definitive starting point, and a definitive end point. Is a project. Soon, when you guys go out to work, you will be, working towards project. Uh, I'm sure if somebody, starts working with services, or now itself, you must be having this question: what if I work with services? What is going to be project in that case? Even services, even your LIC policies are products. So whatever you are doing, endeavor that you are taking to churn out a product or a service is a project, because it has a definitive start and an end date. And whatever initiatives that you take to ensure that the end customer or the end user's experience is good towards it is going to be your quality. Hence, project quality management. Okay. Now, going to another story, another example. You go to buy a television at a store, at an electronic store. Okay, you love everything about the television that you shortlisted. Okay, I'm sure everybody has bought some or the other appliances, video games, or PlayStations or whatever, mobile phones. So you love about everything about this TV. This was the dream TV ever that you wanted to buy. But the sales guy and your overall experience at this television store was bad. Something happened. You just didn't click with this sales guy. Okay, would it be a good experience? Would you at all want to pick up your TV from the store? No, right? I wouldn't. You would get, I guess. Okay. I hope about the PPTs and all, you should contact the moderator. Nobody to buy television here. Yeah. If I go to next, I get everything good. The TV is good, price is high. The was so good. They offered me a tea as well. I'm so sorry about this. The TV was good. The Would you want to buy TV from here or from the previous attempt to buy television from the previous store here because the price point was low? As a consumer, you will try and put it in your head, okay, my problem paying, I deserve that kind of experience. Okay. So here again, going back to quality example of ours, you perhaps will convince yourself that whatever I'm paying for, think this kind of a treatment, lower grade product. That sales experience itself is a product. Okay. Their endeavor to serve you this quality is also a project. So, project quality management also supports continuous process improvement activities undertaken on behalf of a performing organization. Okay. I'm moving ahead in the interest of time because I want you guys to understand a few more things. Quality management plan or planning quality management. I will explain to you guys in simple three terms how this, how at all, quality is built. And at the end, I'll ask you a question. The process of identifying quality requirements or standards for the project and its deliverables and documenting how the project will demonstrate compliance with quality requirements or standards. It's basically planning your quality. All activities to be executed for quality are planned, and what is to be audited, what is to be inspected. I would for now say audited and inspected you guys can overlook. If we have time, we'll talk about it. But this is for you guys. I want to leave you guys with a few jargons for you to research later. But in plan quality management process, the first one, anybody who's creating something, manufacturing something, basically plans what are the industry wide standards that are required to be met. Let's say I am manufacturing medicines. So the first thing that I need to comply to or adhere to are the law. Okay, are the practices, general practices. My factory should be compliant to the laws related to manufacturing of medicines, like some bare minimum hygiene. Okay. Then I have to also adhere to the labor laws. No labor should be made to work for more than 8 hours. There should be, uh, health care, due care taken about their health as well. Every day, there has to be a doctor checking on to the workers who are working in the factory, okay, etc., etc. So these are bare minimum things that need to be taken care of. So we were talking about manufacturing medicines here, or vaccines. So we have to adhere to the laws related to a certain industry. Now going to regulatory industries, or let's going to manufacturing of weapons or equipments which are related to weapons. Okay, so there are government related laws, and then there are industry wide practices that as a manufacturer, each manufacturer has to take care of. Third category could be a general reputation. Okay, so let's say I'm a TV manufacturer, agreed that I am adhering to all the practices, all the laws that are, in a certain country where I wish to sell these televisions in. Also, my labor laws and everything is taken care of. Now, for my reputation building, I definitely should be above, in terms of features, I should be above my competitors. So, I have to give some extra features for lower price. But that doesn't mean anywhere I have to compromise on quality. So I sit along with my team. We plan, we put our heads together. We plan for delivering XYZ number of features to my customers. Yeah, I am required to take certain initiatives for managing or adhering to quality standards. Understood? This is my first ever initiative that I take, which is called planning my quality. These are this is a little in detail, which basically talks about the same thing, providing guidance and direction on how quality will be managed throughout. So it is not only about planning it once, but making sure that this plan is adhered to throughout. You would have heard about, or you remember LCNL, UCL, that is upper control limit, lower control limits, which meant no more than 10 defective mugs. Here, in the context of electronics or software products, no more than these number of high severity bugs or medium severity bugs, putting a upper control limit across all severities during a sprint cycle. So that if I, as a manager or as a development team, come across that there are too many bugs, which is more than my benchmarking, I need to go back, check, pause, recheck, and then make some adjustments and then restart my work. Cool. Then comes my second process, which is manage quality, which is quality assurance, also process adherence or inspections, which means that I will actually be putting together my initiatives, whatever we had done in the planning phase, and I will be managing my quality all throughout. It is not possible as a manufacturer of, let's say, a television or a software product or vaccines or a food item or a restaurant owner, that I churn out a few televisions of very good quality, while a few batches are of bad quality, or a few batches are of intermediate quality. It is not possible. I serve good food or a good experience to customers on a few days. On few other days, it is bad. It is just not possible. Okay. Manage quality, which means quality assurance activities, process adherence, or inspections. Quality control, very interesting one. Quality control is a process of, this is the last process, by the way, which means the process of monitoring and recording the results, basically testing. So do you think, like for software, we all know there's something called software testing, but do you think, for let's say a rock band is coming to your city, they must not be doing any testing? In the chat window, please. Do you guys think, like for putting up a show, the your favorite rock band must not be doing any sort of a testing? Or let's say your favorite restaurant must not be doing any sort of a testing before serving you the food and experience. Students, for me to understand that you guys are paying attention to my audio. Yes, they were. They should, or else they won't be able to manage failure. Ria, I believe you're talking about the show here. Yes, they should. Absolutely. You know, every show, any live show that happens, they do a lot of rehearsals. There is a dress rehearsal also that happens. They plan to the utmost detail on, in case of fire hazard, what would be the exit plan in case of any natural calamity, unfortunate natural calamity, what should be done basically, ambulance, etc., etc., police. There is a lot of intricate planning that goes into it. And in case of restaurants as well, there's a lot of testing that happens. And for restaurants, or other regulatory this thing, inspections also keep happening by the government bodies. They come and take samples to check. Random sampling is done to check if everything is under control. So basically, no matter which industry you are, inspections, audits, tests, quality testing is all very important. Okay. They need to, why do they need to be recorded? Who is asking for it? It could be that your customer, files a lawsuit, or let's say the government itself during audit, they find something which is good. In those times, these results they come handy. Okay, dear authority or dear customer, this is our testing result. If at all there is something that you found, we respect it and we will take care of it. Okay, but all these results are recorded. Going ahead. So these are a few examples of how this is done. Anyways, you'll be getting this slide deck for you to have a look at. Pretty tools. I put this together because I know you guys must be very curious to know how this is done. If you see all throughout my talk, I have taken example. I've tried to take example for all industry types, or perhaps something which is something that you can relate to. So keeping that in mind, some quality tools could be cause and effect diagram, process analysis method, or Ishikawa diagram, which is also called a fishbone diagram or a YY diagram. Which means on one side, if you guys Google later on, not right now, on if you draw a horizontal line, on one side of the horizontal line, you draw a cause, and on the other side, effects. If this is going to be the cause, or this happens, effect would be this. If this happens, effect would be this. Okay. So what it leads to will be a design something like a fish bone, like a comb with a running spine in the middle and two sides on the other side, spikes coming out of it on both the sides. Flow charts, hierarchical way of describing a process. Okay. The typical example of your live show or rock or whatever, rock shows, like I said, designing or thinking to the integrate level, that if this happens, what is the next step? It could be used anywhere, even while designing your algorithms. Software guys would have already read elevator algorithm as an example. Check sheets, tally sheets, or checklists, basically a tally of number of defects. If you guys would have paid attention to elevators, or housekeeping, or in lavatories, in restrooms, behind the door, there typically is a checklist. If not, then you pay attention now. Typically in elevators, you would see every day there is some person who comes and against a certain number of items written in a row, in column, he puts a check, 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 and a signature later on. Basically, his work is to come, do an inspection based on the items, checkpoints mentioned in the checklist, which basically depends upon where you are. In an elevator, it would mean electrical fittings are checked, AC or the fan is working fine, each button is working fine, cleanliness is taken care of, etc., etc. Uh, this is keeping. The points are this the clean wiping is done, etc. Pareto diagrams, 80-20 rule. This is very interesting. If you pay more attention out of curiosity, check for Pareto diagrams. The rule typically says that for anything, I believe that in life also this holds good. If we think that something is messed up, if there is a 100% mess up, okay, then that 100% mess up is only because of 20 items, only because of those 20% vital items. If you correct those, rest of the 80% of your life will be also corrected. Yes, Sindhu, they do it on trains as well. I do not have the attendance. Please, moderator has to take care of that. Histogram, comparison of cumulative data. You would have studied this already. Control charts, specification limits. This is upper control and lower control limits. Scatter diagrams are very interesting. Something which is just like a cause effect or a Y-Y diagram, which means uh, you plot on a graph, okay, uh, defects or your observations, and then based on that scatter that you get, you draw your map, or you draw your analysis on if it is a increasing trend or a decreasing trend. Are you moving towards issue, danger, or are you good? That's scatter diagram. I wanted to show you how fishbone diagram looks like. This is an example which I'll skip through now. Sampling method. Uh, I think we are good. Basically, sampling method would mean that uh, you take a small sample, like I said, inspections or whatever. Typically, in terms of a restaurant, authorities come, they take a sample and they test it in a laboratory uh, to see if everything is working fine. Even in software industry, a certain sample is tested, if not the entire software, to see if the final product is adhering or is that's called validation. So taking a sample of the entire big piece and running it across a certain requirements. That's called sampling. And trend analysis, performance over a period of time. You observe a system working over a period of time, and then you see if it is as per your requirements or not. Typical example is, stock market. So you typically see the trends in a certain month or in monsoon month, or let's say towards Diwali. What is the sale trend, or what is the buying pattern of a certain segment of buyers? So with this, I come back to my promises. I had said that I will talk about three things that we touched in the beginning. So I had said that I'll be talking about what are the, give me a moment, please. Yeah, what are the standards and what are the requirements that are required to be fulfilled? We spoke about requirements as well, and fitness for use with different examples we understood. Quality standards we touched upon, quality and testing as well we saw, and quality criterias we understood from different industry types. Now I open the line for questions. I will go to thank you slide, and if required, I'll shuttle back to answer your questions. So, moderator Krishna Priya, please, if you could unmute and one by one raise your hands so that I can answer your questions. Krishna Priya, is it allowed that they speak, or do they ask me questions through chat only?
So normally we ask them, request them to post the questions in the Q&A box.
All
But
right.
otherwise, they can also post it in the chat box as well.
All right. Q&A or chat, I'm okay with anything.
Alright.
So, can you explain standard again? I was unable to get that. All right. I will. So, standard, depending upon an industry, let's say, let's talk about software industry. Okay. So, have you heard of ISO, International Standard Organization? So, International Standard Organization, as an example, sets standards for each industry type. So, ISO, etc., numbers are for specific industry. So ISO standard for software industry, which you need to check, I will not tell. Okay. Number talks about security requirements, that each software product is required to be compliant to a certain security requirements. Okay. So that it's a bare minimum requirement for anybody to be able to sell that in the market. Okay. Number two could be, as a general practice for the market, me as a software vendor, okay, I have set myself a few standards which I promise to fulfill to my customers. So these are my uh, requirements or my quality standards. Okay, there could be several examples. Each industry would have their own quality standards. It could be regulatory as well, or it could be government related also. Okay. Okay, there are yeses and there are few hands raised. I cannot see. Where do I see the? Okay. Attendance. Pavitra or Mayank, perhaps. Whatever questions you have, put in the chat.
Pavitra and Mayank, you can post it in the Q&A box or in the chat box. We'll read it out.
So where is the Q&A box here?
Yeah, so we have a Q&A box just on the right side,
On
near
the
to the share button. I'll just read out one question we have received so far from Mayank.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. Starting a food business, is it feasible these days, and what is the initial cost of it?
Starting a food business, and then what was it? Repeat that,
So
please.
is this feasible in these days, and what will be the initial cost of doing it?
In the these
So
days, okay, okay.
yeah,
Feasible
in these days, and
these
what
days.
will be
And what is the initial cost involved? Mayank, that is a very specific question. You need to talk to a chef or somebody who comes from that industry. And I unfortunately don't come from restaurant business to be able to help this. But yes, there are government requirements, regulatory requirements that you need to, adhere to. It's not that easy. You have to do a market research on this to be able to assess what is the initial cost. Okay. Sir, if there is a new innovative product built, then how will they do quality control and quality management? Very good. Quality control and quality management. To be able to do this, you need to do quality planning. The first process that I spoke about, that I touched. Okay. While doing planning, you need to keep in mind the requirements from the industry, market, and ISO, that is your regulatory. Okay. So you have to first think on what product you are building. Okay. What is the innovation about? This product deals with which industry type? What is the problem that this product solves? What is your target customer? Based on that, you have to do a quality planning, and then you have to move on that quality planning in order to be able to sell your product and have a market traction and have a ROI as well. Okay. Amazing session. If you could please share the contact details. I am on LinkedIn as well. If you search, you'll be able to find me. I have a question if you guys for now don't have a question. So my question is, with this session, with whatever we saw as examples and the stories, do you guys think that quality in any product could be bolted or could be put later on at the final stage just before delivery? What is your view? I would want this in chat, perhaps one by one. Okay, Mayuri, uh, why would you feel that, Mayuri? Why is there a no? No, not recommend or not possible. Okay, no, but at least why no? So basically, guys, it's not a recommendation only, it's a requirement. So for anything, quality has to be inbuilt. It's a non-negotiable trait. No, as we are in competitive market, for sure we are. Okay. Quality has to be a non-negotiable trait. It has to be inbuilt. We cannot, as a thumb rule, guys, we cannot inbuilt quality. We cannot, what do you say, bolt quality at a later stage. It has to be inherent characteristic of any product. Okay. So I cannot think that I make a television and I build quality into it later. It is built already. For a television, audio, video, software, everything. Yeah, first priority, but inbuilt. It cannot be bolted later on. I have to think of it from my design phase, from my design table. Each phase has to have quality initiatives into it. From my design to my execution to my testing, everything. Well, for the quality guys or from the testing guy, for the testing guys rather, there has to be quality in testing as well. If your test cases are not of a good quality, nowhere will your final product will be of good quality. If your design is not of a good quality, nowhere will you have a good quality product. Your cost of quality will go high. Any bug which is found at a later stage of development or by the customer is most expensive. Any bug which is found towards the early stages is the least expensive bug. Okay. So during design phase itself or during innovation, you have to think of quality in your mind. Okay. It must be building the entire process. Of course, dear scholar, okay, this is your form. Any other questions? Okay, I see here. Sir, if there is a new innovative product, we saw that. Ma'am, can I leave now? Okay. Sir, do you think a quality management course help an engineer? Maybe. Yes, it does. Six Sigma is a very good thing, but then you have to understand difference between your quality and Six Sigma. Okay. What is the process and how to go about it? Good. Any other questions or any other comments, please? Quality makes more compatible in the market. Quality, definitely. It's a mindset, Rahul. It's a mindset and it's also a reputation. I would say people call it output. I call it input, output both. It's an ingredient and it's the final dish as well. Very well said. Yeah. Cool then. So if there are no questions or no more comments, then I thank you all for your time today and your attention. I had a good time, you all. Okay, and your curious questions were all of you were very attentive. It was evident from the fact that the moment I asked you guys to put something here, have so many running chats coming up.
So, Mr.
So thank you
Saurabh,
so much, Krishna Priya and
yeah, thank
everybody
you.
else.